Hey guys, it's Gina Kramer from Cruise Critic, and I'm here on board the beautiful Avalon Waterways, Avalon Saigon, on the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. And today I am joined by Christine Sarkis, who is the Deputy Executive Editor of our sister site, SmarterTravel.com. River cruising is a great way to explore off the beaten path destinations, and so Christine's here to give us some tips on how to really get in and explore like a local.
Thanks. All right. I came up with 3 tips. I mean, there's like endless options, but 3 sort of easy, simple to fulfill things to do. So one is do your research in advance. So it's pretty easy if you know the itinerary to just sort of assume that the itinerary is taken care of, right? You're like, I chose this sailing, that was the decision you made. It looks like there's interesting things to do, but really, you're gonna have bits and pieces of time here and there. If you have an extra hour in a port, and maybe you've done a shore excursion with, so for instance, on Avalon River cruises, all of the shore excursions are built in, right? And would you have wanted to miss any of them? I wouldn't.
Not at all. I mean, and that's another benefit of a river cruise, you know, as opposed to a bigger ship where usually, if it's a mainstream cruise line, you'll have to pay up for those excursions, whereas this is pretty much, it's nearly all included.
We found some great things to do in Saigon. We had extra time there. We had extra time in Phnom Penh, and we'll have extra time when we arrive at Siem Reap. So it's great to know in advance where you're going to have those extra hours, and then figure out what really speaks to you.
You can do as much or as little as you want of all the activities. I mean, obviously the goal is to get you out there, and that's great, but there is a lot of free time factored in, whether it's during the day, because in some cases we actually have 2 stops a day, so then you have a little break time in between, a few hours to have lunch, enjoy a cocktail in the lounge, and so it's a nice balance of that free time and the chance to get out and explore.
Tip number 2 is check out independent options. So on a sailing like this, where there's a lot that's built in, this may be less important, but there are these, you know, when you're in a destination, you may want to do the shore excursion, or there may be something else that's amazing to do. It could mean booking a tour by yourself. It could mean doing your research in advance, finding maybe an app that's going to, you know, offer a walking tour and doing that, wandering around on your own. You know, in some cities there are even free tours led by locals. There's a lot of options, so it's just a matter of digging in each of these ports and figuring out, is there something else that might be worth exploring?
Yeah, and the great thing about you know, this itinerary and Avalon Waterways, other itineraries, is that, you know, when you're coming out, especially to a destination this far away from home, there's always time factored in either before or after your cruise. So you have, you know, at least a couple days at a hotel prior to that in a city where you're pretty much free to do what you want. I mean, there could be a tour here and there, but for the most part, you'll get a few free nights to yourself. So whether you want to go in to have, you know, a local dinner somewhere, or you do want to book, like I think a few people in the beginning of our tour in Ho Chi Minh City, also known as Saigon, had booked a Vespa and street food tour, which was a super cool way to not only explore the local foods, but also get a taste of the culture too.
Absolutely. And for the 3rd tip, talking to locals about what they like to do in each of these ports. Talking to locals can mean all sorts of things. So it can be, you know, you could talk to on board, for instance, on board the Avalon Saigon, there are, I think, 19 of the crew are from Cambodia, and 9 of the crew are from Vietnam. And so these are locals who are incredibly proud of their country and want to share, and are full of really great ideas of things to do in each of these places. And so I think the key here is to learn a few key phrases and to learn enough about local customs to be able to speak politely to people, and then to just sort of dig in and ask a lot of questions, because you're likely to not only find out about interesting things to do, but you know, you'll have a much richer cultural experience, and you'll find out so much more about this place you've come so far to see.
Yes, that's so true. I mean, and here the staff so far, you know, we have our cruise director who's from Vietnam, and all the tour guides that Avalon Waterways, you know, select specifically for these tours that we do. They are from these countries, and they've been in tourism for years, and I mean, that's as local as it's going to get, getting those tips from them. And like you mentioned, you know, tips on etiquette and you know, customs and other basic principles like that. Not only can they offer advice for, you know, places to go check out and tips for, you know, maybe getting around at night, after hours, and other little things like that that you might not find on research online. They're able to offer insight into that. And it's been great here too. I mean, the guides have also, you know, for people who are a little unfamiliar with the lands or maybe a little unsure about heading off on their own, they'll have escorts to take you out there too. So you can get out and explore on your own, but I mean, Avalon really does a great job at, you know, taking care of you based on each individual's comfort, you know, individual's comfort level. And so that's been great.
Yeah, like meeting people where they're at.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, it was great to have you, and we'll look forward to more adventures on the Mekong River.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers.